Hey guys, I'm Shawn of WebPianoTeacher.com. How are you doing? Welcome to my studio. Welcome back. And this is lesson 3 in my beginner course on YouTube for beginner piano. It's an online course and it's completely free. You can download all 10 sheets. There are 10 lessons total in this for at least. I might do more, but there's going to be at least 10. Look in the video description to download the sheets for the whole course. I'm not charging you for it. There's no catch there. And you can get those sheets to help you when you practice. So watch lesson 1 and 2 if you haven't. Guys, don't skip through. You know, I can be long-winded sometimes. I know that. I can ramble a little bit, but you might miss something. So don't skip through the video. Don't skip lessons, because I'm guaranteeing you that you will learn to play on a basic level and have a good setup, a good foundation to go in whatever direction you want to go after you finish this course. And if you don't actually listen to all the lessons and you don't do what I'm saying, then the guarantee's off, okay? I have this wisdom not because I'm smart, but because I've taught for so many years and I've taught so many people. You learn a thing or two, right? You pick it up. So you have a mechanic who's worked on cars for 40 years. He's going to know a thing or two about fixing cars, right? So it's the same with me with piano lessons. I'm going to give you lots of golden nuggets of wisdom in this. I already have in lesson 1 and 2, and we're going to continue with that here. Now, the title of this lesson, we're going to learn the song Lean on Me. You know that song, lean on me when you're not strong and I'll be your friend. We've all heard that, right? It's a great song. That's why I chose it, because we know it, we love it, everyone's going to like it. And you want to play songs you like. That's one of the things that people miss when they're learning to play piano. One of the reasons they fail is they don't pick the right lessons. Part of picking the right lessons is playing songs that you actually like, not Itsy Bitsy Spider, not Row, Row, Row Your Boat, or Kumbaya, or whatever it is. It's all in all those books. I want to play a fun song, and you can do that. There are a lot of great songs that are not very hard to play and that will lend themselves to helping you become a musician. And that's what we're doing here. I don't just teach you songs, okay? I'm teaching you how to become a musician. So in every lesson I've done, I mean, my website has 10,000 plus lessons on it, but in every one, from the very beginning one to the ones I do now, I'm teaching you how to be a musician, because I want you to be able to do what I do. Okay, so yeah, we learn fun songs along the way, but the journey is to help you become a true musician, to be all you can be as a player. All right, lean on me. That's pretty amazing, I think, for lesson 3. Already going to learn a song like that. I mean, just to give you a little taste here, it's a. You've heard that? So we're going to learn Lean on Me. There's another line there to learn. And you're probably thinking immediately, man, that is too hard for a beginner. We just learned what the notes are. How are we going to do that? You will be able to do it. Trust me. Okay? Because I'm going to show you some really cool stuff in this one. That's not just what the notes say, but patterns that repeat. And that's what's going to make it easy to play. Okay? This one is not a hard song. That may have looked kind of difficult, what you just looked at, but it's not going to be hard to play. You're going to love it. All right? So as we continue here in this course, all right, so we're in the classroom. I'm the teacher, and you're in this virtual classroom, and we're continuing on. So we're looking at this. I hope you've seen this. Okay, we talked about traditional note reading, chord sheets, and then the by ear. This checks all 3 boxes. What we're going to do here will lend itself to all 3 ways. You don't have to choose yet which way you're going to go, but you will have to make this choice eventually. If you're a beginner and you're trying to, you want to learn, you'll have to decide which way you want to go. And we'll talk eventually in depth about those 3 when we get to lesson 10. So let's get to the fun song, shall we? Now, I wouldn't be a good teacher unless I kind of reviewed and said, have you done this? Have you done Say It, Play It today? Have you done it every day since you started? Did you do the flashcards and do that for a while? Are you doing it every day? Are you starting to learn what they are without having to use a reference point where you just know them? There's only 7 letters. You can do it. Do you remember what the terms were when I said, what's that? That's a bass clef. What's this? That's a treble clef. What is this? The 5 lines and 4 spaces. It's the staff. Now, I actually use a staff when I'm doing my what I call my whiteboard method because it's very similar to music reading, but it's different. And we won't get into that today, but knowing that this is the staff is important. 5 lines and 4 spaces, bass staff, treble staff up there. Okay. I don't think I talked about a bar line. This is a bar line that separates measures. Okay. A measure is in between the bar lines, 1, 2, 3. So this is measure 1, measure 2, measure 3, measure 4. Okay. That's new stuff. I didn't ask you to learn that yet. So yeah, bar line and measure and treble and bass. So we're going to look at these notes here. So you should recognize all those letters, right? If you know the alphabet, we're going to see where they are on the piano. Okay. And you're going to see that there's just a pattern here that you get used to, and you can play this song pretty easily. Okay. So let's start with the left hand. And I like to start with the left hand because it's the hand that most people say they have problems with. And I can see that. So what I like to do, I like to start with the thing that we're most afraid of so that we don't become afraid of it. So eventually we're not afraid of it anymore. So I always start with the left hand. I always have all my students start with the left hand. And every video I make, you listen to it, I do the left hand first. And that's why I do it, because so people aren't afraid of their left hand. C. And I'm going to play it with the 5th finger. So you're going to learn something else today. Finger numbers. How many fingers do you have? You have 5. Thumb is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Same thing on the left hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the right hand is going which direction? Up to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the left hand is going which direction? Down. Okay, we're going to down in pitch on the piano as we go to the left. Remember that from lesson 1? All right, so when I say a finger number, now you know. Don't write the numbers on your fingers. Just remember 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5 on the C, okay? Okay, so there's a C. Because it's on the side of 2 blacks, right? It's a low C. This C on the bass clef is always right there. C, C, D, E, F, because I know that I'm just going up. Now that we've learned what the notes are with Say It, Play It, it's okay to realize that as you go up, you're going chronological in the alphabet. C, D, E, F, okay? But I also want you to know what those notes are individually. That's a D, that's an E, because of where it is, F. So we play the first measure, left hand. That's your first thing to do today, okay? Play the left hand and play it. Just the first measure. C, C, D, E, F. How's the song go? How's the song go? Sometimes in my life, or something like that. Okay, maybe that's the lyrics, maybe it's not. Those of you who follow my lessons all the time know I can never remember lyrics. All right, and if you do my whiteboard method, those of you who follow me for the last 20 years realize that for a longer note value, I put a dash. And then for a quicker note value, I'll use the curved line there. Right? As we get in traditional music notation, we're going to actually use half note and quarter note, and we'll notate it that way. But for now, don't worry about that. Right now, we're just getting these notes down. Okay? Can't learn everything at once, so sometimes you just have to say, I'm not going to worry about that right now. I'm going to work on this part. C, C, D, E, F. Okay? Now, I did that one measure. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to do the same measure, but I'm going to do the right hand. Most people, they don't know how to practice, and they try to do too much at one time. Okay? They try to do the whole song. And you can't, right? You've got to pick a little piece. Left hand, right hand, put them together. That's how I practice. That's how I've practiced my whole life. That's how I teach every student to practice. That's how I say to practice in my lessons online, on the website. And that's how I'm telling you to practice. Because it works. I'm not saying that because, I know that's my thing. I'm saying it because that works. There are other ways to do, but this one is the only way that really works consistently that I have observed for people. All right, now the right hand. We have 3 letters there, and they're vertically lined up. So anytime, vertically here, this goes for my whiteboard method as well as reading traditional sheet music notation. E, G, C. So that C right there is called a middle C on the treble clef. Okay, that's a C. And then you go down to a G. See, there's a little bit of a distance between the C and the G, and then the E's on the thumb there. So I'm going to use fingers 5, 2, 1 on the letters C, G, E. See that? That's an actual chord. We're not going to be really talking about chords much today because that's kind of a more advanced thing, and I don't want to dump too much on you. But you can hear that, right? Does that sound beautiful? There's a reason those notes sound good together. They're a chord. E, G, C. 1, 2, 5. Now, a good way to practice that is just picking your hand up and then trying to put it down. Taking it off, put it back. But you got to be able to start the song. Anybody can play it once their fingers are there. You ever play guitar? Anybody can find the fingering for a chord and then start strumming. It's the change, right, that gets us being able to change from one to the other. And when you play that first chord, you need to practice just landing the first chord. Taking your hand out, go back. All right, so it's the E, G, C. Got that? Now feel that mold in your hand. Because you're looking at these letters and go, man, I got to figure out each one of those. I want you to be able to figure out what, realize what each of those letters are and where they are on the keyboard. But I want you to notice something else called a pattern, okay? If I took my hand in that pattern, you ever watch Friends and Phoebe's showing how she plays a guitar? That's what that reminds me of. My hand's in that mold for that chord. The next chords that are coming up are the same mold. I'm just moving it over. Moving it over one. As long as I stay in that mold, I'm golden. Okay? That's the pattern. So not only when you play these letters, know it's E, G, C and know that's F, A, D, but you can see it's a pattern. Move up again, A, C, F. Okay? See that pattern? Chord, 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 chord. And when you do that, see, this is why having a person teaching you is so important, because you cannot learn that from the falling blocks. You're not going to learn what a chord is. You're not going to have someone tell you what I'm about to tell you about the wrist when you're playing sequential chords, that you use the wrist. See my wrist? Like, I'm going to exaggerate the motion. When you play this, it's all in the wrist. A lot of things are all in the wrist, aren't they? When you throw a frisbee, when you darts, I know they say it's all on the wrist. Well, this is all on the wrist. My hand stays in that mold. Okay, so E, G, C, play it again, move up, move up, move up. You may miss some of those notes. You're probably maybe going real slow. Oh, I can't. Oh, that's okay. Everybody does it first. Now, times in my life. That's fun to play. I love that song. I like that song. And I want to play something fun while I'm learning to play chords, while I'm learning how to do my wrist when I play sequential chords like that. Okay? And now what am I going to do? I just played my left hand and I did some reps on it. You got to do the reps, okay? Don't play it just one time. C, C, D, E, F, then do it again, then do it again. At least 3. All right, at least 3. Then I'll do my right hand a few times. Now what am I going to do? I'm going to put them together. So just remember that. Left hand, right hand, then together. So I'm going to play it together now. Play it together, and they're lined up. Okay, when it's vertical, you play those together. And you play it again. You play it again on the next one. Move up again, move up again. Now, you're going to be missing some notes because you're going to look at mine and go, oh, you make it look so easy. Well, it should be easy for me. I've done it my whole life. It's my occupation. It's my vocation, okay? You're doing it for fun, for enjoyment. It's not something that you've spent every waking hour on your whole life like I have, all right? So, of course, it's going to look easier for me. But it can be easy for you, too, as well, just practicing the way I'm telling you to practice. Times in my life. Okay, got that? Do that several times, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. Now listen to this. That may be all you do today, and it's okay. I'd rather have you play a small part and go, man, I did okay at that, than to try 3 or 4 measures and go, man, this is hard. This stinks. Because you tried too much. You bit off more than you can chew. Bite off 1 measure, okay? And you'll have to decide, am I going to do more than that today in this sitting? And if you are, let's keep going. Because the thing with video lessons is you can always come back. You can hit pause and then hit unpause or rewind if you need. Okay? Sometimes in my life. And then I'm going to play it again. Okay? That ACF Did you know that this is A and C and F? I hope you do, because you've been doing say it, play it like a mad dog every day, right? So, all right, play it again. Come back down. I'm just going to move it down to the left, down to the left, down to the left. And I see that my left hand also does the same thing. So if I want to follow exactly my practice plan, I would go left hand again, and then right hand 3 times. 2, and then 3, and then I put them together. Go slow. Then what? Okay, now we put those 2 measures together. We did left hand, right hand together on the first measure, left hand, right hand together on the second measure. Now I'm going to put those measures together and work on that as a group. So let's try that. Sometimes in my life, and that's all I do. Then I try it again. Guys, go slow enough to get it right. There's another golden thing I'm dropping for you. Golden words of wisdom there. Go slow enough to get it right. Because if you go fast enough to get it wrong, then you're going to keep making those mistakes, and your brain's going to start remembering those mistakes, and you're going to actually reinforce the mistake making. It's just how the brain works and how our physical apparatus works, okay? So go slow enough to get it right. Slow is okay. Correct is what we want. Now, not to the point where you're just nitpicking yourself to death. We all make mistakes. But don't force yourself to go too fast, okay? Stay slow with it. It's okay. It's okay to miss notes. If you do make a mistake, here's another golden wisdom thing. You should be writing this down. Don't start over. Everybody makes a mistake. Oh, start all over. No, don't start all over. Fix the thing right where it is, and then keep going. Fix the thing right where it is and keep going. When you're building a house, if someone's building a house and they make a mistake, do they just tear the whole house down and start all over? No. They fix the little part they messed up, and then they keep going, right? And so that's what you should do in your practice, because then you'll get in the habit of always starting over, and you'll get really stressed and really anxious. We don't want that. Mistakes are okay. What did Bob Ross? Happy mistakes, right? Happy mistakes. Love Bob Ross. Okay. And we're going to keep going. I spent all this time, we've only done 2 measures, but that's okay, Because I want to reinforce good habits, because you're going to take what you learn here and do it and over again. You're going to redo it in everything you learn. This isn't the only place you're going to see these chords. You're going to see them all over the place. Now, the next measure, the third measure, I've just held that C chord over. Now I'm going to kind of do what I did at the beginning, but not exactly. Let's look at the left hand. C, D, E, G. That's different, right? C, D, E. I skipped over F and went to G. What are my finger numbers? Because we're learning finger numbers. 5, 4, 3, 1. Another thing to watch out for, don't write in all the finger numbers. Some of you will do this. You'll say, oh, finger numbers, and you'll just write in all the numbers. Then what happens? You read the numbers, and you don't look at the letters, and you don't learn the letters, and you learn the numbers. Then you've ruined all the say it, play it. So don't write the finger numbers in. I'm not going to put them flashing on the screen. I'm not going to put a graphic on the piano, because I want you to just hear it and learn what it is without having to have a graphic, okay, so that you really learn it. If we're going to let computers do all the playing, what are we doing? We're playing for our own human enjoyment, right? C, D, E, G. We leave the F out. And the right hand is. So these two are the same. Okay, so I do want you to know this is an E, a G, a C, an F, an A, a D, a B. But when I'm playing it, I'm seeing that those chords are just moving up. So we're seeing the letters, yes, but we're also seeing the patterns. That's a pattern that this chord that we keep playing, it's called a first inversion chord, by the way. Getting ahead of myself on the chords, but it's called a first inversion chord. One more thing to do. There's another G there, so I'm just going to play it again, G. And if you're going at all, if you're saying, oh man, you keep saying the note and I can't see what note you're playing, you didn't learn your notes. You didn't do say it, play it. If you're going, oh, what note are you playing? Go slower so I can see what note you're playing. Nope, you didn't do say it, play it enough, and you don't know all 7 letters on the whole keyboard. If you'll go back and do that say it, play it, you won't be going that. You won't be saying slow down what note are you playing, because you'll be able to look at my letter there and you'll say, oh, that's a G. I know what a G is. Not let me copy this person on the screen and see what they're doing. Okay, I know that's part of it as you look and I'm demonstrating, and to an extent you're copying what I'm doing here. But you need to know these notes, and I know some of you won't take me seriously on that, but I'm telling you, you really need to do that say it, play it, really get it down. All right, so let's say you worked on these 2 measures and you put those together. Then you eventually want to play the whole line. So second measure. Now I'm here. And I got there. Oh, my knee. Wow. So I'm trying to stay in shape. So I started playing basketball again outside with my kid. And, I'm in my 50s. I can still move around and do stuff. But your knees need some time getting used to things. And I'm feeling it in my knees because there's lots of jumping in basketball. Fun stuff. Okay. And I just felt that when I had to move my leg just to do the pedal there to hold a note so I could point for you. All right. So that's that first line. So you need to play that. You need to do repetitions. When you practice small sections, good repetitions, left hand, right hand together. Go to the next measure, left hand, right hand together. When you're learning to read music, traditional music notation, I'll note this here. If that's what you're after, that's a great skill to have. Love it. I can do it very well. The point, you're going to do it differently, okay? Because you want to learn the skill of reading music. And if you just repeat something, you're not going to learn that skill very well, and you're going to end up where you know how reading works, but you're not fast at it and you're not good at it, and you can't play all this wonderful music you want to play because you're so terrible at reading music and you don't know why. And the reason you're bad at reading is because you're trying stuff that's too hard and you're going one measure at a time and you're not really learning how to read, okay? That's different than what we're doing here, okay? So when learning that skill of reading music, which we'll get to, it's very important that you're learning and working on the skill of doing it better and faster. Not songs. Songs aren't going to make you a good sight reader, okay? But for us who are doing the whiteboard method, this is pretty much the whiteboard method that I use, and chords, totally okay. You don't have to worry about that. We can just play the way we're doing now and be just fine. All right. Moving on. So this next part is similar, okay, to what we did above, but a little bit different. That's the wonderful thing about music is that you have repetition, okay? You have things that repeat, and we don't have to learn it again. We already learned it, and you kind of saw that repetition happen in the above line all by itself, but it's also going to happen in the second line. So let's look. C. That's exactly like what we did before, and then we go back down. Whoop, made a mistake. See, so I made a mistake, so I didn't start all over at the top of the page. I just fixed it right here. And then I'm going to do this. This is different, so I'm going to look at this one hand at a time. C, D, E, G, C. And I will play both lines all together at the end, okay? Just hang with me, and we'll do that. Right now, we're still in the teaching phase. C, D, E. What I would do here is move a third finger to that C, because that's going to help me with the rest of it. But I'm not going to write in the number. Maybe you can write 1, 3 there on the C. That wouldn't hurt anything, because then it's telling you to switch to a third finger so that you can play the rest of it easy. C, D, E, G. G's down here. And it goes down, right? C, D, E. It's not this G. It's not higher. It's lower. C, D, E. This G's lower. Remember, you're up and down, okay? We're going lower on the page, so we go lower to the left on the keyboard. C, D, E, G. And then we go up to a C. Okay? So work on that. Da, 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 da. Then you have your right hand, E, G, C. All right? And now right here is the toughest part of the whole song, because you have to move. That's a voyage there. You have to go all the way down to D, F, B right here. D, F, B. And you should know what those notes are from the say it, play it. D, F, B. Okay? And then we go to E, G, C. And you may still be learning what the notes are at this point, getting them memorized. As long as you're still doing say it, play it religiously, then that's okay. Give you a little tip here, a little trick. When you play this, Bob, and you have a skip, okay, what can help you sometimes is realizing if a note's the same. See that B? That B is the same B that I'm going to put my fifth finger on, my pinky. And realizing that gives me a landing point. See? I know where the B is here, and I know where it is on that chord, so it kind of helps that there's two B's there. And you just go for it. This will be the toughest part of the song, and you'll struggle with it, and that's okay. And then you end just by going up one to the E, G, C. Na, 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 na. Okay? And you probably see me using the pedal, and you say, oh, can I use pedal yet? You can mess around with it a little bit, but I'm not going to get in depth with it today because that's too much to talk about. I just use it a little bit to hold notes while I'm before I get to the next one. All right, let's try. Let's look at what I have here at the end, then we'll play the whole thing, okay? All right, hope you're hanging in there. Because you're not going to really learn to play the piano, become a musician by quick little throwaway videos, on Instagram or something. You got to sit down and work on stuff. So I'm giving you a lesson like I did for all my real students that I had, sitting beside me on the bench. And I actually wrote my own, piano method for things, and I used that because I found that kids would stay students a lot longer if they were playing songs they actually wanted to play. But none of the books did that. So I had to come up with my own thing, and it worked great, and I just kept doing it. Then I found YouTube came out, and I jumped on that immediately. And, the rest is history. But looking at this, we have say it, play it, and then your flashcards. So this is how you're practicing when you sit down, because you do stuff in a lesson, but that's not necessarily how you're going to practice. We kind of look at different aspects of things in a lesson. And then when you actually practice, you need to have instruction on that because people aren't going to naturally know what to do. So one is say it, play it, which we already learned. And the other thing is the flashcards I gave you. Remember I told you to cut those out and do those. I know some of you won't do it. You won't want to spend the time, but they really are helpful if you'll do that. And it really shows you're really serious about doing it. Okay, if you can't make some flashcards, are you really serious? Do you really want to learn? So I recommend doing that every day. I put on there. So, but now you have something else to do. You have lean on me. So now we have say it, play it. We have the flashcards. And the third thing is the lean on me. So what do? You have your journal, okay, which is an actual notebook with paper in it. And you have, a pen and just write. And if you don't have money to buy a journal, there's lots of people that have just, little notebooks that they never use laying around. So ask a friend or something, ask your mom or whoever, and get something to write in and start making a note of that. I did say it, play it today, write the date, and then write what you did. Say, I learned to lean on me. It's terrible, but it's a fun song, and I'm going to get better at it. Okay? And the next day, you write the same thing, that what you worked on. Keep track of that. It's an accountability thing. We do a lot better as humans if we're accountable to somebody. Even sometimes it can be ourselves, and we're being accountable to ourselves by writing in that journal, and it just feels good to do it. And then we feel bad if we don't. So it kind of makes us do it. And we stay up with things and we progress. So that's our third lesson. So at this point, can you do say it, play it? Are you good at it? Have you made your flashcards? Can you do your flashcards pretty well? And can you get through Lean On Me? I didn't say, is it wonderful? I said, can you get through it? And have you downloaded the sheets for this? Look in the video description. I've got information there on how you can. I'll just send you those sheets. You'll have all 10 sheets for all 10 lessons. Next is lesson 4. Talk to you guys later.